Good morning. My name is Jana Brogan, and I'm here to talk about an assignment that I um, completed for my Apothecary and Dispensary Skills class. Um, we were asked to create an infused oil, and from the infused oil to create a medicinal salve. We were to research and choose a condition, and then research and choose herbs that might be effective in treating the condition. Because I wished to try the medicinal salve and the oil myself, I chose a condition that I myself suffer from. I was in a head-on collision in my mid-20s, and I broke my back and tore all the muscles in my sternum and my back and crushed bones and terrible whiplash, head injuries, and so on. And I opt to live my life without painkillers. So I'm always looking for something to help me loosen my muscles and relieve some of the pain I have in my joints and my bones because of where my injuries are in my spine. My L4 and L5, I broke them both, and I came home in a wheelchair. All of my muscles are always tight as they try and support the injured areas. So I was researching and hoping to find something that I could use, that I could apply topically to help me with the pain, and that way I could speak to it having used it myself. So the maceration, I used 25 grams of capsicum annuum. I used 25 grams of Salix alba, 25 grams of Zingiber officinale, 10 grams of Rosmarinus officinales, 15 grams of Lavandula augustifolia, and I used 100 grams grapeseed oil for the menstruum. The herbs that I used for the maceration were chosen because each one contained one or more of the following actions: analgesic, anti-inflammatory, antispasmodic, rubefacient, relaxing nervaine, or circulatory stimulant. I chose grapeseed oil for the menstruum because it's lighter to the touch than, say, olive oil, and it's purported to exhibit anti-inflammatory properties, and it's easier on your skin. I have really sensitive skin, and it's not meant to clog your pores the same way as some of the heavier oils, and it's hopefully not going to cause any rashes or anything like that. So I made the infused oil, and it was an interesting process. It was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. And from the formula for the maceration, I made my medicinal salve, and I used a ratio of 1 to 8 beeswax to infused oil. And I actually made 2 different oils and 2 different salves because I wanted to compare 2 oils as well as 2 ratios for beeswax to infused oil. So the second one that I did, that I won't go into great detail, it was just for cuts and healing wounds on your hands and your skin. I'm in the kitchen a lot, and I always have burns and cuts, so I thought I would just make something like that and see how it worked. And also I was most curious about oils and ratios of beeswax to oil. So for this one, I actually used olive oil as the menstruum, and I just used for the herbs, I used Lavandula, Symphytum officinale, Althea officinalis, Plantago majoris, Avena sativa, and that was just, those are sort of classic herbs for helping heal skin and reduce inflammation and speed everything up. And I used the olive oil menstruum, and it was interesting to note that I certainly prefer the grapeseed oil to the olive oil menstruum. I find that the olive oil smells like food. I should be eating it, and which probably isn't advisable because it has comfrey in it. And I find that it's much, much thicker on my skin. It doesn't absorb the same way, which might be good for cuts, but I just am not as fond of it. It feels like I'm putting goop on, and I'm aware that it's on my skin. And so for that medicinal salve, I actually used a different ratio of infused oil to beeswax. I used a ratio of 1 part beeswax to 6 parts infused oil, and I actually prefer that ratio. It's a little firmer, it coats better, it's not it just feels a bit firmer. It's set better. For the first medicinal salve, I melted the beeswax separately and then added it to the oil, which was a lot of work and a lot of mess. And then I was doing some reading, and it was suggested that you could add the beeswax directly to the hot oil if you were careful and stirred it, just to be aware of that it's so prone to bursting into flames. So I did that, and it was much, much easier. I didn't have as much cleanup, so I'm much fonder of that process than I was of the melting the beeswax separately and then adding it and trying to clean jars and so on and so forth. So I'm going to just show you some of my work. I don't have the proper jars. Unfortunately, they're not in yet. I did order some of the darkly colored cobalt jars, but they're just not, they haven't arrived. So this is my medicinal salve that I made for joint pain and muscle tightness. And that's with the grapeseed oil. It smells actually quite nice. It's got a really nice feel to it. I'm just gonna apply some here if I can show you. And it just rubs in very, very nicely. I have used it and I find it to be actually quite effective. I have a hard time sleeping at night often because my hips and my lower back are so tight, and I find that this certainly relaxes everything, and it makes it reduces a lot of the pain in my hips and the tightness that I have, so I can get into a comfortable position and sleep. This was actually and this is the medicinal salve that I made just to help heal wounds as a healing medicinal salve, and this is the one with the olive oil. It is firmer, you can see, and that's with the olive oil, and but it does not go on quite as, like, it's just goopier. I don't know if you can see, maybe you can't, but anyway, I'm certainly prefer the grapeseed oil. I would like to try some different oils as we move along. I'm a little limited here in the north as to what I can get, so I'm certainly going to have to order some as I go. And then the other thing I did was my inhalation, which is kind of fun, and again, I wanted to use it, I wanted to make something that I could use for a condition that I suffer from, and I suffer from very bad headaches and migraines, probably also as a result of the head injuries I received in the car accident, and all of them had really bad whiplash. And so this is a combination of fresh rosemary, fresh lavender, dried skullcap, and some peppermint essential oil. Luckily, I haven't had to try it yet, but it's ready to go when I'm ready to try it. So anyway, those were my first endeavors making medicine, and it was, again, a lot more work than I thought, but truly enjoyable, and I think I've learned a great deal from working with the herbs and the oils, and I'm quite fascinated now to try some other applications, maybe tinctures next. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.